Hi, ever wonder what it's like to work another profession or live in the underworld? Listen to unsuspecting riders give a 10 to 15 minute personal masterclass as I spontaneously interview them as they enter my taxi. I'm your host, Simon Rushton, and this is Taxi Chronicles. Morning. Yes, another episode, another rider. Today's going to be interesting. Well, tonight, first of all, Mad Boris has lost it again. He's put us in tier 4. I wish his wife gives him a hand job or something like that. Because I reckon something's not going on well at home and he's taking it out on the country like a mad king. But anyway, on another note, we have another lovely lady in the car. And she's going to tell us all about the industry of sugar babying from her point of view. I'm hoping I'm saying this right. We did do an interview with somebody else before, but she's going to tell us how she got into the industry and what it's been like for her. Here you are, Sally. Yeah. How did you get into the industry and what's it like?
So I started about 2 years ago, and I started Googling about it because I kept seeing a lot of girls boast about making money and buying nice things and shopping sprees, so I was curious. I started on the website most girls know as Seeking Arrangement. For about half of the year was quite unsuccessful. You meet a lot of guys, and then when it comes to actually meeting, they waste your time. Or, you know, how it normally starts is they initiate an allowance or pay per meet. Pay per meets are better because if someone offers you 200 per meet and you meet them, 8 times a month, whereas someone might say £400 a month and then you're seeing them all the time, so the money doesn't quite work out. So I did that for a year, quite rubbish, and then about...
So you're not doing the pay per meet, or you are?
I do pay per meet, and I do escorting.
Oh,
that's the word to say. Yeah, I do it all.
Okay.
If I'm being honest, anyone that says that they've got these guys spending money and they're not sleeping with them is a liar. No man is going to spend thousands and thousands of pounds without getting something in return. It's very rare. But there are some men that just generally want companionship. So there's some guys that have shitty marriage lives and they're just happy to have a young girl on their shoulder or to be seen, to look good. That's the whole idea of it, to look good next to a man. I started doing more the escorting side about 2 months ago, and I can say in one night I can make 1.5k.
Are you ever fear for your safety?
100%. So most of the time, if anyone knows about a website called Adult Work, so it basically links you to any escorts in your area. It has your pictures, your bio, what you do, what you don't do, and your prices. And so you have a work phone they call, and then they can inquire about what they want, what you're willing to do, how much for. So some men come in bladdered drunk and they're very aggressive. There's some guy, the best clients are the cocaine clients. That's what us girls call them, because when a guy has taken so much cocaine, they can't get hard. So then they keep paying you for more time because mentally they think, oh yeah, eventually it will get there. It never gets there in the end. So they just keep paying for more time. You just, batter your eyelashes and go, oh babe, let's keep trying. They pay for more time. End of the night, you've got about £1,000 off them. They didn't even get to fuck you in the end. So it's quite good. But yeah, it's not the best thing to do. You do feel shitty at times. But it's hard to feel shitty when you're in Harrods and Selfridges and you're buying all these expensive things and not having to do too much for them.
What made you want to get into it? I know you said about...
So what had happened was, so on these websites, there's agents on there. So or what some people call pimps. So they create fake profiles and reach out to girls and then obviously pitch to them, I have so-and-so clients, if you're willing to work, then it's easier. So it's easier to go through them. However, you do share the money. So that's the negative side to it.
Women?
So currently I have one man and one woman. If I'm honest, the women are always quite bitchy. The men are the best to work with because you can get away with a lot of things. So yeah.
Oh, you can get
away with murder.
I can believe that, because women against women are terrible.
Yeah.
And men are like, oh, just leave her. Let her get away. Let her have her way in that respect. So you said you started when you were 16.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, that's quite a young.
Yeah, very young age.
Do you regret doing this from the start? Do you think?
One thing I was saying is, so I work 2 legitimate jobs, and I am currently in university as well, so it's not like I plan to do this forever. However, the problem is that if you're making 1.5k a night, it's hard to do the regular job, because you just feel like, oh, but if I could work tonight, I would probably make way more money than what so then it makes you, sort of, question a lot of things, so it's quite hard to say.
Can I ask, do you have a partner?
I do.
Does he know?
No, he does not. All of us girls, anyways, all the girls I work with, we all have partners.
And none of them know?
No.
Don't you think?
You know what? A lot of people ask this question, oh, how do you have a partner? But bear in mind, I've only started very recently, and one thing I can say, when work is work, it's work. So you don't necessarily fall in love with these guys. I personally make sure I use protection with everyone, just so that I'm not putting him at any risk. And yeah.
Okay, that's
interesting.
No, it's interesting. I will admit, even I interviewed other ladies as well.
Yeah.
It does put me back, because my daughter's 16.
Oh,
Do you understand? So as a father, I'm like, there's a part of me you can be so much more without having to go down that route.
Yeah.
Because, all right, see, like, you got a lot of money.
Yeah.
The other girl spoke about she has a problem with the banks. The bank's always asking her where she's getting all the money from.
Yeah.
And stuff. How do you handle that problem as well?
So personally, what I do is, as bad as it sounds, I will keep the cash. As quickly as you make it, as quickly as it goes.
Really?
It's like sometimes, but then again, I personally do it to pay off bills and help my family out financially. I don't really use it for myself. And what I normally do is I have an internet bank, so I just go into the shop and basically pay them. You give the money to the cashier, whatever, and they put it on, rather than walking into an actual bank, because then again there will be the questions.
Okay. Do you ever think about investing in anything?
Yes.
Like, if you're making that kind of money.
Yeah. So my plan is in the next 2 years to buy a property. That's what ideally I'd like to. But then again, I don't want to be, probably this time next year I won't be doing this, because I've only done it for the last month on the weekends. And let me not act like everything's dandy. Some nights you can make a lot, and some nights are completely dead. So it all depends. Or sometimes you can have clients that come in and they don't want a long amount of time, so then the money's quite rubbish. So like I said, if you've got clients that are drunk on cocaine, or you get the regulars that really like you, and you know what, when you're a genuine person, the men can see that. I've had men come in and go, actually, you know what, I can't do this with you, like, you seem like such a lovely girl, and they always feel bad, because no female should have to, obviously sell their body as per se.
What surprises me about this whole situation is that, I've spoken about this to quite a few people in the car.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are totally oblivious.
Yeah.
But the younger people aren't.
Yeah.
The university age, college age.
A lot of men request for you to be a student.
But the bankers, they're not they are aware of it.
Yeah.
The bankers, the traders, the doctors, for the reason, and it's really weird.
It's concerning.
You know what's concerning is that you've got all these feminist groups fighting for women's rights, but then you've got all these young girls who are just saying, I want to be, you could say, exploited. Yeah. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's contrary. It's like, have the feminists got it wrong? Because they're fighting for something that seems like their children or their people don't really want. Because they want to be able to use their bodies to get financial gain. If you see what I mean. So,
you know what, I think it's too promoted on social media. I think that's what the problem is, because obviously these girls say the dandy side, oh, look what my sugar daddy just bought me, and you're thinking, oh my gosh, I want that. And then once you're in it and you realise how dark it actually is, like I said, some guys can be very violent.
So you've had people who are violent?
Yeah, I had a guy, so I'm bisexual. So one of the other girls I work with, me and her would do threesomes. And, like, he was so violent, like, we literally had to throw him out the house, yeah. But usually there's always a man in the house. There's always a man there.
Oh, so you go to a specific house?
Yeah, so how it works is your agent will basically rent out properties. So we're located in Stratford and in, like, central London, Shoreditch. So the men, you basically send the postcode, they come over, or they can have an outcall. So with an outcall, they pay more. And they have to pay for transport to get you there and back. But, like, there's always risks with it because you never know. So usually on outcalls, we don't do them as often unless someone's a regular. Like, for example, where I'm going now, the guy's a regular. So the girl he wanted, she's doing another outcall. So he opted out and was like, oh, you know what, I'll take someone else today.
Okay. So don't you, like at that outhouse, don't you have like a security, a male guy who just, I don't know, you pay a small fee and he's just there?
No. So it's like, for example, that day when me and my friend had like the violent guy, what's the likelihood that the guy wasn't there that day? But I mean, you get used to it. You pretty much know how to defend yourself if worse comes to worse. I think the main problem with the industry is obviously because it is illegal, there is no protection. You can't call the police because the police, do you get what I mean? It's quite, is a grey area.
Well, I think you can, because the women's rights are always saying that working girls, if it's okay to use that term or not, are the victims.
Yeah.
So, you know, but it's been interesting because we're coming to the end of the journey.
Yeah.
What's the impact you want to have on the world? It's my last question I always ask.
So like I said, I'm in university. I'm in the health sector. So I hope to one day, obviously, use my story to help other girls and let them know that, you know, because I'm obviously a bit much more older now, and some of the girls that are there are literally babies. And it's weird because, like, looking in the mirror, because how do we all end up here? Why aren't we necessarily doing better? Like, some of the girls literally don't do anything for a living. This is their job. They're happy to sugar and live off that. I personally, it's not what I want to do.
Okay. And what would you tell your partner if he found out?
Oh no. I don't know what I'll tell him.
And how long have you been with him?
A long time, very long time.
So would you say there's a disconnection then?
With
why
what?
You would do this? If you've been with him for so long and it means so much, then this isn't something that you
like I said, I think of it as a work aspect. So I don't, like, people always ask, when you have sex with your partner, is it the same? Like, even literally today, one of the girls was saying, she was like, you know, when it's different, it's definitely different. It doesn't feel the same. And yeah.
Well, thanks a lot for that.
Thank you.
Much appreciated. We hope you liked that interview. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to get the latest daily episode. Ever considered investing in the continent with the fastest growing economy and population on Earth? The same continent that holds 30% of the world's known natural resources? Then listen to our sister podcast, Africa Investor Stories, where you will hear real investors with real stories from around the world share their experience of investing in Africa. We post Monday and Thursday at 10 a.m.